First, I want to thank NORML for even inviting me to participate today in this, what I hope is going to be a rather robust debate. For a lot of you that are sitting here right now, you may think or have gotten the wrong impression of what I stand for in this movement. And I want to make sure that here in front of everyone, we set this clear and straight. I have been integrally involved in every state that's passed the medicinal marijuana law in this country since 2002. I have been out front on every situation that I could possibly be in, from Connecticut the first time around to New Jersey, speaking before multiple senatorial panels there, to being involved in Arizona's laws passing. I've been involved in every single state since 2002, passing laws to allow safe access for patients for medicinal marijuana. Now I'm going to tell you something. I personally, directly where I stand, I have never been, or will I ever be, in favor of full 100% legalization of marijuana. I won't. So for those who think that you need to hijack me for that stand, don't bother. This for me is personal, and I thank you for saying it. Because for me, this is how I get through every day of my life. I have MS. A lot of you know that. I've been very, very vocal about that. MS started probably in me back in 1980. I was misdiagnosed for almost 20 years. Went to doctors 3 and 4 times a year trying to get a diagnosis, and I was misdiagnosed every time. 10 years ago, I woke up one morning and my feet went on fire, and they've never gone off. They burn every day.
I stand for common sense. As a business economist, as a former state senator, as a city councilman, and as a candidate for mayor, I look at this issue as common sense. And the regulations that we've put into place at the city are meant to be commonsensical. I was chair of the safety committee when we went through the various regulations of how are we going to accommodate medical marijuana and make sure that patients can get access, because the patient comes first.
I was also asked by the leadership to do 2 things: to try to apply some business structure to what had become something that was slightly undefined, or more than slightly undefined. Secondly, they very much asked me not to let this become a partisan issue, to convince both Democrats and Republicans to come together with an initial business model for this industry. That's what we did. And what I'll tell you is we didn't believe it was perfection, not at all. But we thought it was a good start. And what I'll tell you is I believe that medical marijuana is a constitutional right in Denver. What I also explained to you is that Colorado at its core is a local control state. So those are 2 things we had to take into consideration.
I'm a free market capitalist and definitely for the freedom of speech, and it's going to be a market-driven issue, I think. If it is that type of neighborhood, if it's a residential neighborhood, if you're up on the hill in Boulder and it's a college environment, the supply demand and how they want to be marketed to, the good business owners are going to figure that out.
I think it's all of our responsibility to help educate those individuals as to the real effects or lack of real effects of these centers and of the grow operations. And I've been in a lot of centers and a lot of grow operations. I've seen a lot of professionalism. I've seen a lot of, coping with regulation. City Council last year asked the police chief to tell us what the tabulation of crime was at medical marijuana centers, banks, and pharmacies last year. There were a lot of robberies at banks, a few at pharmacies, and almost none at medical marijuana centers.